Those who have the courage, gall, grit, chutzpah, vision, resilience, bravery to chase their dreams has no time to take down anyone else, let alone comment on, judge, speak about. Our only goal in this physical world is to evolve our consciousness. And hopefully you should be so busy, so immersed, so committed to, so devoted to moving through your own internal process that you don't have time, energy, bandwidth, or attention to comment on anyone else. And I know we're human, and judgment is an experience of separation. It's a reactive behavior. It's a disconnection from self, and it has something to teach us. I'm not saying that. I'm not here to shame it, but the rhetoric that's circulating what's happening in Los Angeles is deeply, deeply upsetting. Especially amidst such trauma, such pain, such shock, such grief, such heartache, such uncertainty and confusion. It's messed up. And ironically, those who are making such comments are the people who are hurting inside the most and who will most likely go home to watch the TV shows that are made, the movies that are created, the music that is cultivated. The separation and division and anger and hatred. I mean, before we point at anyone else, let's look inside our own consciousness. I'm thankfully safe. Akmal and I are thankfully safe, but everything's just been a complete blur since Tuesday. Like everyone in Los Angeles, at the minimum, is dealing with severe traumatic personal and collective shock, exhaustion, sleep deprivation, stress, fight or flight, grief, uncertainty. And if we can't meet that with empathy, why do we need to experience something personally to generate that level of empathy? Why does something have to happen to our own personal selves to then say, oh, I can understand you? That is why we have art. Art generates empathy. Art cultivates that deep-seated compassion for the human condition. That is why we so deeply connect to stories, not only for entertainment and joy and expression, but also healing and transformation and understanding the way a word can puncture you, or an image can touch you, or a piece of music can soothe your soul. We turn to art for everything. So the audacity to tear people down in such a moment is really a call to look inside your own consciousness and see where that level of judgment and vitriol lives inside of you, where that reactivity lives inside of you, where you're disconnected from self, from the universe, from the creator. There are people, I don't have words. I literally don't have words because my brain isn't working. And just everyone I think of, the people who've lost their homes, their livelihoods, their loved ones, the firefighters, the first responders, the volunteers, putting their literal lives on the line and not having moments to recollect themselves, to sleep, to literally breathe, to eat. And then the community and the spaces we hold so dear. I mean, there's such a misconception of what Hollywood is. Hollywood is mostly filled with blue-collar workers. Hollywood, like it's yes, there's a few elite and celebrities, of course, but it's mostly people like me holding 3 or 4 jobs at a time, trying to make ends meet, holding on to a vision and showing up for it every day through exhaustion, through uncertainty, through confusion, letting that vision guide you and sculpt you and chisel you into the version you have to be to hold the caliber and frequency and vibration of that dream. Every artist I know is the most resilient, inventive, willing to reinvent and innovate themselves amidst so much rejection, amidst so much confusion, amidst so many detours. I mean, just even the last 5 years themselves in our industry have been traumatic consistently. And if we are going to keep holding moments of such severity and trauma with hate and vitriol, we learn nothing from it. And my body doesn't fully feel ready to see the silver lining. I see the silver lining in community. I mean, the amount of love and support and connection that has been flowing, not just from my beautiful friends and artists and ensemble and community in LA, but from around the world. I mean, that's what's getting us through it. That's what's getting us through it, and that's what will get us through it. That's why I felt compelled to create this space from the beginning, because I wanted the ensemble. I want us all to move and elevate our consciousness into a state of wholeness where we're living in our joy, in our freedom, in our sacred self-expression, in our happiness, in our overflow, and we get to contribute that to the planet. So I ask you, where in you right now are you holding judgment? Where are you right now putting another down? And it doesn't have to be related to what's happening in LA. It can be something in your personal life. It can be something in your work life. It can be whatever. Where are you being reactive instead of proactive? Where are you shutting down instead of opening your heart a little bit more to let the light in? Because it all contributes. We're all connected. And I'm really thankful for this space, because not only do we get to continue this conversation, I see these videos as a conversation. I see these taps as an evolution of consciousness for our own personal dreams and collective dreams. Because when we are moving in wholeness, we give that energy to the planet. We give that energy to each other. That's the caliber of art we're then able to create. So I want you to see how you can step into being the role of the giver today, of the creator today. And yes, that most likely means taking care of yourself first, your nervous system, your thoughts, your emotions, your needs, and meeting that space of overflow, and then being the giver. Calling someone up, sending someone $5, saying something to someone on the street, silently blessing someone at the post office. You are more powerful than you know. Your energy moves mountains. We're in this together. And we'll heal it together. And we'll turn it into the greatest comeback story ever. I mean, Phoenix rising, baby. LA is the first place I've ever felt home since I left Uzbekistan. And it's devastating. But it's also full of the most incredible, resilient, inventive, creative, heart-sourced people I've met, and have the absolute privilege to create with every day. And if you're on this path, you know the strength of spirit. You know it is not for the faint of heart. I've understood I mean, it's funny because my body always knew this, but I've understood now intellectually. I always speak about how the body knows first. I mean, that's what we learned at our theater school at Ilhom in Uzbekistan. The art doesn't come from the brain, it comes from the body. But I've understood something intellectually now about artists and anyone who chases their dreams, right? It's ultimately the most sacred act we can do, because it requires us to evolve past the person we perceive ourselves to be and instead pursue that trajectory of potential, and to let the old self die and be reborn again and again and again and again. It is the literal embodiment of Phoenix rising. And I give my utmost respect to the people who do that, because when you're on your own path, you have no time. You have no time to judge anyone, to tear anyone down. You only have the capacity to lift up in love. Even if you're going through grief, even if you're going through pain, even if you're going through shock. So let's see where that lives inside each of us. Where we can be more givers than takers. Where we can hold the light amidst so much darkness and process emotions as we need to. So we can show up in a capacity that opens space for others to move and process and express and grieve and transmute and alchemize. We're all going to be asked to hold the light at different times. Some of us more consistently than others. But that's also what your soul came here to heal and transform and elevate into. Community is the most sacred solvent. We heal, we transform, we create together, we thrive together. And I'm so thankful to have you here. And if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to the ensemble. This is the ensemble. We're here for the partner. At Actor to Artist, we love the partner. We're literally nothing without the partner. On stage, on screen, in life. Let me know how this lands for you. Let me know something in the comments you can do today to be a giver. Energetically, emotionally, intellectually, financially, creatively. Because this is how we heal. Personally and collectively. I love you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.